Hello, guys. Welcome back again to We the Panel, a Terrace House Podcast. A podcast where we talk about basically the first season of Terrace House, Boys and Girls Next Door. Welcome back. My name is Jason, and I am delighted for another week of goodness while we discuss this episode. Oh boy, we are excited. But before we start, we got to introduce the rest of the panel. Over here, as you can see, my goodness, she is not from the skies, she's not from the seas, she is at France at the moment. My goodness, nice to see you, Cheska. How you doing?
Hi, I finally landed in France. I'm finally on land this time, so it's great to be here.
Oh, well, travel safely and make sure you're all right. And of course, we got someone over here at the bottom. The bottom over here in my screen. I believe he's waiting at an airport with a familiar face at the background. Whoa, there's another one there. Oh, how's it? I guess he's talking to them. The other panelists, I guess. James, how you doing in that crowded airport?
Hey, yeah, I'm doing good. Just had to go to the bathroom real quick with Tecchan and Momo. So we're gone, doing our thing. How you guys do? Yeah, they're doing okay. They're doing good. Yeah.
All smiles at the background, I see. But yeah, before we start, we got a bit of an announcement, and I believe James has something to say about that. So, what's up? Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, of course. So as always, Terrace House can be found wherever you can find your podcasts. That means that it is on Spotify. That means it's on Apple Music, places like Podbean, on Anchor, wherever else you can find it. We are there. Just search We the Panel and look for the little house with the brown background, and that's us. On top of that, this is your reminder to like, comment, and subscribe to the video, the channel. Turn on the bell notifications to let you guys know when we're giving our episodes. And yeah, just a big reminder to do all of those things before we get into Terrace House episode 23, titled His Final Choice. Oh man, and this was quite the episode, if I may say myself. It was filled with a lot of things. Like, I feel like this episode was a build-up to the eventual title fight with Daiki and Irrelevant. But yeah, so the episode starts, as it always does, with a little Yu and Tori-chan recap. So what happened last episode? Tecchan had his big confession, and there was the development of this new rivalry between Tecchan and Daiki.
Ooh.
However, the episode actually starts with Daiki and his team training on the beach and doing a little rundown on the beach. And Daiki talks about how his weight loss is starting now. Back at the house, Seina and Oji are looking at a Where's Waldo book. Or sorry, in Japan it's Where's Wally, because Waldo is hard to say. And as they're doing that, Tecchan shows up. Seina kind of talks about how Hana isn't really feeling well, and is it Tecchan's fault? Who knows? But we head over to the girls' room, where Hana is lying in bed, and Tecchan walks in, and he asked if he and Daiki caused her some stress. But Tecchan also tells her that she shouldn't worry, and that they should all just be looking towards cheering on Daiki in his match. And as he says that, there's a little caption that says, "For now, he's chosen to remain as a friend." And the intro song hits. So my question for you guys is, what does Tecchan mean when he tells Hana not to worry? I mean, okay, it seems pretty obvious, but I want you guys to answer this question, because I feel like there's a little more that can be said than what we're all initially thinking.
What was the caption at the end of that scene say? Do you remember?
Okay,
that?
so that's what makes it like so kind of obvious. So the caption says, "For now, he's chosen to remain as a friend."
Oh.
Let's just say I didn't like. Okay, he means well. This guy means well again. The guy behind you, James, he really means well.
Yeah.
But I think he's doing it wrong again. Like, Sena told Tecchan, "Hey, look, Hana's not been feeling so well," and he did get that feeling because it's what he said to Hana the prior episode, right? It's like, "I like you," and it is what it is. He tried to act cool about that, but now he's thinking, "Oh no, Hana's worried about me." Like, yo, chill out.
Oh.
That's how I saw it. I'm like, yo,
Mhm.
kind of like chill out, Tecchan. Like, relax, okay. She was already feeling worse already prior to the whole situation with you two. So I didn't like how the way he did it because it's just kind of like it's not just about you, Tecchan. Like it's a lot of other things, and he does mean well because he actually came in and said, "Hey, don't worry about it. It is like I don't need to make a decision or anything." He basically said like because of that caption, "I'm gonna be your friend now,"
Mhm.
right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's such a like a beta move. You know what I mean? Like he could have just ended with like, okay, I think the best case scenario, he shouldn't have said anything. He's just be like, oh, okay, just give the girl space. Like
Oh yeah. I
I
agree.
think that was the best situation for him to do. But instead he went back and said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about me. I got you. Because I think in his way of saying is like, oh, let me take care of this by making Hana feel better by saying, don't think about what I just said. But it's like, Taechan, you already said it. Like, you can't just reverse owner of this card. You know what I mean? So I think, uh, like, yeah, it was such a lame way of comforting Hana. Like, so yeah, I don't know. Be a friend. Go ahead.
Like, okay, I agree with Jay in terms of he should have left her alone because I, I think she wanted space anyways, but he just like kind of put himself in there. Um, Trying to think, I feel like he's kind of giving up in a sense when he said, "Don't worry about it." Like, there's literally a quote unquote rival between him and Daiki, and like Daiki's being indecisive again, and then Tecchan is like giving up in a sense. So I feel like, in my opinion, it's not gonna, no love relationship is gonna happen with Hana because of those two like conflicting feelings, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely true. Like, I think just the whole concept of like, yeah, like Hana wants to be alone and you should have just given her space. Like I feel like that's pretty spot on. Like straight up like Sena and Oji they're socializing in the kitchen and it's like, hey, like Hana's in her room. I think you can tell that she wants to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but like just to like reiterate the obvious thing here was that like okay yeah, Taechan doesn't want her to like go like crazy, so he's like okay yeah, don't worry about me. It's just let's just stick to Daiki and what's happening to him right now. But it's kind of weird because or at least in the caption where it says for now he's chosen to remain as a friend, the key thing that I read there was the for now part. So does that mean that like after Daiki's fight, like does that mean that Taechan's gonna be like all in, or does that just mean that like hey like it is what it is? Like I don't really know. And I'm just very worried for Hana because of how affected she's already been by like Daiki by himself, and then but now like like Taechan's been introduced, and even the fact that he said like hey don't worry about me, like I feel like that would make me think even more about what's the game plan for Taechan right now. Like I don't really understand like what's gonna happen.
I agree, man. Like the guy, the more he talks, the more he makes it worse. I think. Like in Hana, she was like, okay, you just told me you like me or you're interested. Now you're telling me like I don't know when the time base is. You don't like me now? We'll think about it maybe later after the match. So, what do you want from me, man? Like, that is just so like it's like such a. I thought, what do you call this? Tecchan would learn, like, just go with your feeling, like, and steer with it, execute. But the guy's still like, well, we'll show it later in the episode. The guy doesn't even know what he's doing. But then again, yeah, when does he know when he's doing?
Yikes. Jay.
Big yikes, big yikes. But anyway, if we're good to move on, we will move on to the kitchen, where Heike,
Heike.
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 we move on to the kitchen,
Yes.
where Hana and Daiki, that's their ship name. Sorry, where
True.
Hana and Daiki kind of talk about his weight loss and how, like, oh man, this is so crazy. Apparently, sometimes Daiki doesn't eat anything for 2 days, which is like insane to me. But anyways, then as they're talking, guess who shows up? It's Tecchan. In my notes, in brackets, I'm literally like, Tecchan shows up. Yikes. But anyways, they kind of talk about how things will get difficult from here on out. And then that scene ends. And we move on to another Daiki training montage. But this time it's in the gym. And he's doing his kicks, getting his routine in. And after the workout, he talks to his coach about how he plans on confessing to whichever girl right after his match. And then it goes over to you and Tori-chan, who talk about how Daiki might talk about who Daiki might choose, and how there's this like slight change in Tecchan. So then we move over to Hana and Seina, who talk about how Hana's gonna make a bento box for Daiki, and how Daiki's mind is probably not thinking about the relationship and like all the problems that have to do with that, but he's probably like 100% thinking about his match. And then we move on to the guys' room, where Oji and Tecchan talk about how no matter what happens, Tecchan thinks his relationship with Hana will disappear. So now, the question that I have for you guys is, considering everything that we've seen with Tecchan and like what we've just talked about how like Teichan's telling her not to worry and stuff about that, and this whole like little conversation that he had with Oji about how like the relationship with Hana, like, which the viewer would assume is more like just their friendship, will disappear. So then the question that I have for you guys is, did Tecchan ever really like Hana in the first place?
Is that a yes,
I'm seeing a
Jay?
lot of faces. Yeah, Jay, what do you think?
Did Tecchan ever really like Hana? Great question. I think, okay, here's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, how Daiki talks about to Tecchan about like, oh, how's your date and everything, like that way.
Yeah.
And I think Tecchan really wants something like that in his life. You know what I mean? So I feel like that may have effect. Like, this is a reach, I think, on the reasons why he might like Hana. I think the reasons why he hears Daiki talk about Hana that way kind of like made her more attractive to Tecchan. And the idea of a relationship with Hana is, I think that's what's driving him to say, maybe I do like Hana, because it's kind of rubbing off that attraction. And I don't think, Tecchan, like, I think he likes the idea of being in a relationship with Hana, but I don't think she is like really interested in actual Hana in that sense. Like, the idea is like what he wants, but not exactly Hana, which is kind of superficial, which is unfortunate. And like, because of that, he's just longing for companionship, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's why he went all out and said, I am interested in you. But he doesn't seem like he's sure, like how he's approaching with everything, even before, like, I like you, I don't like you for now. Like, what? You just do that, dude. So I don't think he never like genuinely had interest in her. So yeah.
I agree 100%. I don't think he really likes her in that way. It to me it clearly looks like he is more into having a great friendship with Hana instead of a relationship. So I think what he was feeling or what he is feeling is like just infatuation, and his feelings towards Hana is not like romantic at all. Like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, for sure. Like the whole thing about like it's the idea of having that companionship over like actually like wanting to be with Hana. Like yeah, like I understand that completely. It's literally just like Tecchan like Tecchan wants to keep the friendship with Hana because he's kind of staging it as him saying that he likes Hana because he still has this idea that like if he loses or if Daiki gains the relationship that he wants with Hana, then he's going to be taking the friendship away from Tecchan. And I guess like Tecchan really just doesn't want that to go away, so he's just kind of saying that he likes her when he really just likes her like as a friend instead of as a potential partner.
That's kind of unfortunate though, but don't you think, okay, hypothetically, even if Daiki and Hana get together, wouldn't Hana still have that same friendship with Tecchan anyways?
See, that's the thing. Like you would think that, but I feel like Tecchan doesn't think that.
Oh no.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, think about it. Again, he's 19, so that 19-year-old brain is like, oh, if I like someone and they reject me, I'm not going to be friends with them.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. It's a two-way street. You like me? No, we're not friends. That's how I see him now. Okay. Oh, that's unfortunate. He should really just like, no, I don't. No, Tecchan, you're gonna be friends no matter what. Like, unless you like hurt her in some way or she hurts you in some way. Dude,
Yeah.
you guys live together. Like, it's already easy enough to be friends.
I know, like, you can clearly tell how weird the house dynamic is now. Like, even Seina's like, yo, the house has been quiet. And it started because Tecchan confessed to Hana.
Yeah, and literally like cuz Hana was kind of like the life of the house, right? At some points at least. So the fact that she's not even like going down to the living room to socialize just kind of like it dims the energy of the house all the way down. Like even going back to Sena and Oji having their conversation, like it's just not the same because you know OG's more of a quiet guy and Sena can be out there, but it's kind of like she like it's not the same. It's not the same type of energy that you would get from a Hana or from a Daiki.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just yeah, like the whole house is kind of like upside down right now.
Yeah, and like with Seina, I think she matches people's energy. So it really depends on the person that she's hanging out with.
For sure.
Yeah, like okay, I think OG's kind of like those guys where he says everything like after someone else says it, like he just adds something to it, but he can't add his own thing to it. And I think Seina's like a bit better than that because she could handle her own identity, but when it comes to like OG in this past episodes, wow, like he's basically exposition, right? Like that's his thing, which is all right. Like I like it, but I don't see him saying the first things or having an opinion about like that's something way his own identity, I guess, compared to anyone else in the house. So yeah, it's kind of it's down.
Yeah, I feel like in terms of OG, like he's new. So give him a few weeks to see what would happen with him. Because I feel like there might be something energetic behind this guy, and we just don't know about it yet.
Yeah.
Interesting. You think he hasn't truly shown his full hand?
No, not yet.
No,
That was
not,
horrible.
I don't
Not
think
yet.
so. No, not yet. I think there's a lot to this dude because it seems like okay, he seems like he has a lot of things to say, but he's just kind of like, I'll say it later. Like, I'll just say this. Okay.
He sticks to his one line of dialogue that like hits super hard.
Yeah, he's a one-liner dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like Shota, but
There you go. Come on.
Missed the dude.
Honest.
I missed that laugh, man.
Oh my gosh. Well, moving on to the next set of scenes, we get to see Hana driving down to the store to get some ingredients for the bento box. And then later we get to see Tecchan, Hana, and Sena playing some card games. And they mention their worry over Momo because she hasn't been home in 4 days. Then we see Hana, this little, I guess you could call it a montage of her making the bento box. And she gives it over to Daiki while he gets ready for his stuff. And it was super cute. And you could tell that like Hana was like really proud of what she made. And you could tell that she was a little nervous, but it was a really good scene. Then we skip over to the gym where after Daiki's training, he eats Hana's carb-free bento, carb-free, rice-free bento. And one of his training partners just so happens to show up and has a bite of his food, and surprise, surprise, it's delicious. Like, great scene. That was a great scene.
Yeah, it was a good scene.
yeah, it was.
Felt like a commercial.
Yeah. Yeah. The way that like after he took the bite, he was like, "Oh my!" Like it was. Oh man, it was so good. It was so good.
Even the guy coming in, like, "What you doing?" "I'm eating a bento." "Is it from who?" "Oh yeah." "Oh, that looks great. Can I try it?" Like,
Yeah. Oh, it was so good. Great dynamic, those two.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, back at the house, Sena and Tecchan are looking over her magazine debut, which is really cool. She is an Oriental beauty, according to the magazine, and we even get to see some collarbone, some clavicle.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's kind of scandalous. But then Momo's home, which is great. So Momo shows up, and automatically Tecchan and Sena are like super happy that she's home, and we get to see the OG 3 members just sitting and talking. And this is where Momo talks about how she needed some time away from Terrace House. And she talks about how the Terrace House life is super difficult and time away is needed. And the entire scene was really cute because it was the 3 OGs, and there's so much chemistry between the 3 of them. But after Momo says all of this, she announces that she is leaving Terrace House.
Aww.
So then we go over to Yu and Tori-chan, who they talk about how if Momo leaves and Daiki and Hana are together, then it seems like Tecchan won't have anyone. Then we move on to Tecchan telling OG that Momo is leaving after Daiki's match. So, instead of a question that I'm going to give you guys for this set of scenes, I just kind of wanted to talk about how difficult the Terrace House lifestyle really must be. Of course, we don't have any experience of going to Terrace House because, of course not, we're Canadian, but just throwing yourself in Momo's shoes, or I guess any of the members' shoes, the idea of having your entire day recorded, and anywhere you go is probably recorded. Just talk about how difficult that lifestyle must be.
I mean, yeah, we haven't done anything in terms of reality TV. This is the closest that we'll probably get to reality TV, a podcast. But yeah, that's why there's always this big debate if people want to go on reality TV or not, because there are things like editing, they can probably portray you as the villain of the season or something like that, and you don't want to be portrayed as that because that's not what you think you are. And obviously paparazzi will come in everywhere just to get a snap of you. So yeah, obviously it's going to be very stressful for anyone in reality TV to go through. But yeah, there are some pros to it, but there's a lot of cons to it as well.
Yeah, in that conversation, Momo lists out the pros, right? She's sit, she says, "Oh, we get to be on TV. There's the fame aspect to it. But it must be very, yeah, like Cheska, you're right. It must be very stressful for every action that you do. It can be portrayed in a way, but you never think there could be like a positive or negative way. And like that sucks. Imagine thinking like that your whole day, even like brushing your teeth or whatever, like a common conversation that you thought had nothing of like, particular value to it. It could be construed through the production team to be like,
Yeah.
oh my God, he said that one sentence, and it could be like a totally different narrative. So it's just like, I I can't say I understand why Momo like needed some space, but I could like sympathize her. Yeah, I could say like, yeah, you need some time off. And considering how she's like a type of person that does a lot of things too, right? Like she's just in that one, not in one highway of like modeling or acting. She's trying to like spread out to as much as she can, right? That could probably take a toll on her herself. Like just even without the aspect of being in a reality TV, right? That must be stressful too, right? Because like there's so many different channels. Then you add the reality TV aspect. It's just like it's overwhelming and just like, yo, poor Momo. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it must be super tiring for her too, like considering that, she's been there all 23 weeks up to this point. Like
Yeah, that's wild.
like what is 23 weeks in months? That's
it's like six,
four,
5 months.
eight. Yeah, that's almost half a year where
Yeah.
every day every day like you're in front of a camera, and just like it also gives some of like the pros and cons of Terrace House as well, like of how
Mhm.
like it's reality TV, but it's reality TV, but it's also like but you're also allowed to do like everything that you usually do. And just the whole thing of like, hey, if you guys remember back in the first season how everyone was going on Facebook after watching that first episode of Terrace
Oh
House,
yeah.
yeah, like that is such a big aspect of Terrace House, which is so like crazy. And considering who who Momo is just as an individual and how we've seen her, at least, like it makes sense that like this kind of lifestyle it takes a toll on you, like mentally and like even physically, because it's just like, hey, like you're trying to be yourself, but then you're also trying to look good
Yeah.
like in front of like all these people that are watching. So it's kind of it's crazy. And considering that they've been there for 23 weeks, that's like that's also surprising to me that like the three of them have stayed for that long. Like I don't know if I'd be able to stay 6 months in that type of situation.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would like probably last a month or two and then leave.
Mm-hmm.
But we should also take into consideration how Terrace House, like I'm just comparing this to American reality TV. So in American reality TV, they film it for a few months and then release it the next year. With Terrace House, they film it and release it weekly. So like the constant questions that these people are gonna get, like, oh, I saw you did this. Do you want to talk more about that? Like that, obviously that's gonna be like stressful on them. And it clearly made like a huge stress factor to Momo.
Yeah, Terrace House is so self-aware of like
And it's
that's why I like it.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the aspects why I like it. I'm like they're literally seeing their actions from last week, and it's just like what? Then you have to live your regular life as best as you can while people
Mhm.
ask in social media and whatnot. And yeah, that's a lot. It's another thing that you gotta deal with.
Yeah. And like, I guess with American TV, since they release it a year later, they get the slander a year later. So,
Mm,
like, after filming, they're like kind of calm and they can't really say anything. And then once they release it, then they're going to get all the drama that they're expected to get.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For sure, for sure. uh are there any last thoughts before I move on to the next scene?
one
I'm
more thing.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
okay.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm sad that Momo's leaving, but I kind of expected it.
It's not really a question, but I do wonder, like, since the show is so self-aware of like what they do on a weekly basis, I wonder what they can and can't say. Like, do they even know what's gonna show? Like, do they? I don't think they know what's gonna show in the next week's episode. But it's just like,
No.
how does it? Like, I'm so intrigued about like, what are they gonna show? Or like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, how is it gonna portray themselves? Or like, to what knowledge can the castmates say what they're doing? Like, because before we've already heard spoiler alerts, like Richan's like talking about like, oh yeah, that's what happened in the house. Like, what? You can't say that. Like, so that's just interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like there is a contract that they have to sign.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh, for
like,
sure.
yeah, there has to be like certain things that they can't really reveal.
Yeah.
But like, they're so transparent, so I can't really tell.
Yeah.
Maybe one day if we could find that Fuji TV contract, maybe we'll maybe
yeah,
we'll
you
take
know.
a look at it. Who knows?
Search the internet. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Just ask one of the castmates.
Yeah, you're right.
That's true. That's true. That's true. All right. So moving on to the next set of scenes, we talk about Momo showing up in the guys' room to talk to Tecchan about liking Hana. And she says that what he's doing is pretty lame because of how he's making it seem like he's certain of his feelings towards Hana to Hana, but in fact, he's not certain at all. And probably the best part of this scene happened right after that conversation, after she left, where Mr. One-Liner himself, our Purple Prince OG, he's just sitting there in his white cardigan, and he's just like, must be hard for you.
You know what, James? That must be hard for you.
Honestly, Jay, it must be hard for you.
must be Cheska hard for. Oh dang! I screwed it up.
Oh, dang, James.
Oh, Cheska lame. Cheska hard lame. France. Oh dude, just touched my head right. It's a lot.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, after that great line, it cuts to you and Tori-chan, who talk about how Momo's right and how they don't really know what's gonna happen with Daiki. And speaking of Daiki, we go to a restaurant where Daiki meets up with a girl. Oh god. And it cuts back to you and Tori-chan being like, oh my god, is that the other girl? And it's crazy. It cuts to commercial. And when it cuts back, JK, it's just his sister.
Damn it.
And yeah, so his sister confronts him about the whole liking two girls thing. And she talks about how, like, that's not really like him. And there's a little shortcut to Hana showing the days until Daiki's match, where she scratches it out and puts in 5 more days till his match. And then Daiki says that he has made his decision about the relationship and about Terrace House. Daiki says that after his match, he's leaving Terrace House. And the episode ends. Now, my last question for you guys, or well, I guess 2 questions, is since Daiki's match is probably going to be next episode, who do you think Daiki's going to choose? And if Daiki chooses Hana, does that mean that she's leaving as well? So yeah, last minute predictions. We can't go back now. Who do you think Daiki's going to choose?
So I'm very set on this. I've been set on this for like the past 2 episodes now. And now it's solidified because he said he's leaving. Possibly leaving. I think he's going to go for the other girl.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And it's just because he's leaving, right? If he chose Hana, he would have stayed.
Hmm.
Ooh.
Mm.
Ooh. Wait, hold on, Cheska. Were you
Yes.
were you on team what is it? Haiki? prior to this episode, or are you just because of now? Like, what was your your initial shipping? Were you about
It,
to like it?
it was them. Yeah. Now I was shipping them. And then once he's like, I kind of like two girls.
And that's
Once
when
he
you
started,
flip the switch.
yeah, that's why I flipped the switch. And then like, for me, I'm a bigger fan of Hana than I am of Daiki. So I'm like, for Hana's sake, don't go for her.
Wow.
Right? I don't want her to get hurt, okay? And like the fact that he's already hurting her, she doesn't deserve it. Right?
Ooh.
She doesn't deserve to hurt. He doesn't deserve hurt. So so that's why I'm like I'm kind of not into the Hana and Daiki thing anymore. And then once he said he's leaving Terrace House, that kind of solidified that he's gonna go for the other girl.
Ooh, because if she chooses the other girl, it'd be really awkward in the house. Be like,
Exactly.
there's a whole 5 episodes about this, about you choosing who and who not who, and like, yeah, and it made her
Exactly.
incredibly sick. Ooh,
Exactly. He doesn't want to hurt Hana anymore, so he's gonna leave and run off with the other girl.
So that's a very solid choice there, Cheska.
You think it's Hana?
Okay, so I've been saying from the start, never been Hana. He's
True.
But for the content, guys, he ate the bento box while shedding weight.
Okay, but here's my argument for that.
Uh-huh.
I feel like he's just eating it out of like kindness and friendship at this point.
Guys, I don't know. Maybe you want to get a bento with that whole commercial. I mean, that whole scene of them eating it. Like, I don't know. Maybe I think he's gonna go for Hana. Like, okay, my logical brain says no, but my heart says yes
Ooh.
to
Whoa.
Haiki.
Your
But most
mind's
likely-
telling you no.
My mind is usually more logical, so I'm gonna say no. It's good. It's the other girl because it makes more sense. I do agree with you, Cheska. Like, it's just gonna make things less awkward if they continue to live together like that.
Yeah.
But you know that bento box scene.
Did we switch places, Jay?
I'm doing it because I feel like Tim would be like, "Where's Tim? Where are you, Tim?"
Wait, but I swear Tim doesn't like
where's
Daiki.
Where is
Oh,
he?
yeah, they're Team Daiki, so I'm feeling.
No, I don't think he likes Daiki.
From what I remember, no. From what I remember, he initially didn't like Hana because of the whole Gyaru model thing. But then
Yeah.
he's like, but now he's like very much on Hana's side.
But
they're-
Daiki, I don't think he likes Daiki anymore.
But he's a boxer, and remember Tim said he likes
Well,
him
he
'cause he's a
only likes the
boxer?
boxing, but him as a person, I don't think he likes him.
What do
Well,
you
are-
guys think? Tim likes Daiki or Hana?
Yo.
Let us know.
What if I call Tim right now?
Oh no!
Wait.
You should have
Do you
just
think
been
he's busy?
No,
Yeah,
think
he's
he's busy?
That's why he's busy. That's why he's not here. Love you, Tim. Keep doing your thing. But
That would have
yes,
been a great bit. It would have been such a funny bit.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh my god.
but yeah, I'm saying no. I don't think so. But I'm speculating he did like that bento. So I don't know, guys. What do you think, James?
Well, I don't want to say too much because I've actually watched the next episode unintentionally.
James!
Unintentionally, I watched the next episode, so I don't want to say too much. However,
Shouldn't say
there's a-
anything. Then.
Yeah, I shouldn't
Don't
say
say
anything.
anything
I
then.
shouldn't say anything at all. So
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
So okay, since you guys both think that Daiki's gonna go with the other girl,
Mm-hmm.
what effect is that gonna have on Hana?
Oh, she's gonna be heartbroken because I think she likes Daiki more than Tecchan, right?
Yeah. Could lead her to her leaving the house if that happens.
Yeah,
Ooh.
probably.
Yeah. Because you got a guy that said no to her, and another guy's like, I like you now after that match. Which is like, okay, all right, thanks.
Like this whole love triangle is a mess.
Yeah.
And it's like unnecessarily messy,
Yeah.
you know?
Like it's usually like, like a perfect love triangle, but it seems like an obtuse triangle where it's like the longest side is Hana, and the next longest side is Daiki, then you got that little
That little Tecchan.
the other side, which is like, oh, that's Tecchan's bridge to like uncertainty of liking someone and like, I don't know, a rival of some sort. Is that obtuse or acute? I don't know.
I think it's obtuse.
I think obtuse is the one where all three. Wait,
They're bigger. Acute is smaller.
I don't remember anymore. I haven't taken a
But
math
like,
class.
yeah,
since-
I know it's been a while. I haven't used
Yeah.
triangles in that aspect, but yeah, it's a messy love triangle, if anything.
Honestly,
Like,
isn't
okay.
it more of like a rhombus because it's like
Yeah.
because there's Tecchan, Daiki, Hana, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's
Oh,
Daiki,
word!
other girl, and then I don't know, extra side for Soshale, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, I got it. I got it. Okay, Daiki's right here, right?
Mhm.
Teichan's like at the side, like this corner,
Okay.
and
Wait.
the other corner, oh, dang it, is then Hana, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Then Hana is connected to Daiki
Uh-huh.
and Teichan, but
Uh-huh.
also the new girl because that's her competition. So it is like a rhombus. I get you. I wish I could draw this to you right now.
I was
but-
gonna like put
gonna
the
make-
whiteboard effect because I
You're
can
gonna
do
make-
that.
Oh, do we have a whiteboard? Okay.
Yes,
okay.
we do. Okay, tell me. Okay, I'm gonna
Okay,
enable it
we're
right
gonna do-
now.
This is,
Oh my
the
God, this
end of
is
the day.
happening.
There it is. Let's do
This
this.
is happening. What is happening?
Let's do it. All right.
I'm
Okay,
so
tell
sorry
me
to
what
our
I
audio
have to do.
listeners. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry to our audio listeners, but it's
Yeah,
happening.
All right. So draw a rhombus. Go draw a rhombus.
Do you remember what a rhombus looks like?
It's two triangles, right? It's two triangles,
Wait, it's
right?
this, right? And then that's a rhombus, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I guess.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, then draw us draw a line in the middle.
Draw a
like-
line in the middle.
Yeah,
okay.
draw a line in the middle. So it looks like two triangles.
What's just happened? Hold on.
Oh no.
All right.
Wait,
all
okay,
right,
this and then
There. Then draw a line in the middle. Okay.
Yeah.
Kite.
Yeah, it's a.
it's a kite.
All right. Okay, so you got the top, the north. You would have Daiki. Put Daiki.
Okay, I'll put
D
D.
for Daiki. For the bottom, you would
Mhm.
have Hana.
Hana.
Okay.
Yes, I see what you're doing now.
Ah,
Ah.
Teichan's to the left.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Uh-huh.
T.
And
Then
other
n-
chicks on
girl.
the right.
Other
I'll
girl.
put G for girl.
G. So you get it? Teichan is directly affected with Daiki and Hana
Ah,
because, they're rivals, right?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Daiki and Teichan are rivals, whatever, I guess. Hana is directly connected to all three of them because Teichan likes Hana, allegedly. Daiki is like really into Hana, and Hana is really into Daiki. And Hana is also the rival for that other new girl, right? And Daiki is connected to all these people because Teichan is a weird rival, directly in competition with Hana and the new girl. The rhombus, baby.
How ironic. How ironic that I didn't connect Hana and Daiki's lines to Teichan's.
Ooh, drama.
Oh no.
Oh, I love screen share, guys.
Ooh, you gotta
my
read
gosh.
between those lines. You know what I mean?
Oh, what has this podcast turned into?
Again, sorry for the audio listeners, but I hope that was the best I could describe it.
Another
I mean-
reason for you guys to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We actually
Exactly.
provide a lot of visual we provide a lot of visual entertainment for a podcast.
Yeah,
you know?
look
I
at
know.
my background. Like I'm in France. What?
Yeah. Crazy. Crazy.
James is at an airport right now. Like that's wild.
Oh my gosh.
Can't believe we did a visual bit there.
Yeah. And this isn't even the first time that we've done one. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, other than Daiki's fight, which we're probably gonna see considering that it's 5 days till,
hmm
what else are you guys looking forward to for next episode?
It's bittersweet, but how Momo's gonna be exiting Terrace House because you know how
Yeah.
it's a huge moment every time someone leaves. So I hope they celebrate fondly, and I hope we get some like OG and Momo action still, because even still she said she was leaving, and that scene when they're in the room with Tecchan and Daiki. I'm sorry, Tecchan and OG, right? As soon as she finishes talking to Tecchan, like, you're so lame. Come on, man up. Bye, OG.
Oh my god.
I was like, ooh.
Jay, it's not happening.
I don't know.
It's not happening. She's leaving.
I mean,
What is OG gonna do?
I'll see you at the first.
hey, wasn't there some other relationship that had to do with someone that's not in the house anymore? Oh my gosh.
Oh god.
See, he's coming back, and he's coming back. I don't know who, but
I don't know. I don't remember who that guy is. But
Okay, but
I'm
is
pretty
it
sure.
still happening?
Who knows? We're on the Daiki Hana storyline right now.
Yeah. We're in the Haiki
But
ship.
we're in the Haiki.
Is it even
We're in the Haiki ship.
sailing? That's not good.
Or,
Is it
or,
sailing?
or the Dana. Or the Dana ship. I don't know. Which would you guys like more better?
Haiki.
Dana or Dana
Dana?
ship?
Well, I guess we will find out on the next episode of Terrace House. And speaking of the end of the episode, we have nothing else to say. So before we go, there are some plugs that we have. So starting with our woman from Paris doing her best Ratatouille impression. Cheska, where could we find you?
Don't give me that task. I can't speak in a French accent.
How do you say resident TikToker in French? Le resident, le TikTok.
Le resident on
Oh my gosh, she's trying.
TikTok.
Good for you. All right.
I mean, we're Canadians, but we're like terrible at French.
Yeah,
As
we're
it's
not
supposed to
French
be.
Canadian.
We're not French Canadians. We're not.
I can't speak French.
Well, you can find me on Instagram at Cheska Camille _. And I started doing TikToks again because I got bored. So you can find me on TikTok. I changed my name, but I don't remember what it is. So it will be on the description.
Chess, you're making this so hard.
No, it's the same. No, James, I swear it's the same. I just don't remember what it is. Like it's just a little longer. I think it's the same as my IG.
Oh, it better be. And yeah, you can catch Cheska as a part of the TikTok Ratatouille musical, I guess. Who knows?
Oh, no, I can't write music. I'll be watching it from afar.
There it is. Speaking of watching, our silver-haired fox, Jason, where can the people find you?
Oh, they can find me at Instagram at FERJAYSON. You can also find me at twitch.tv. Finally built my PC, so hopefully I'll be back into that. I'll be playing classic games as Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon,
Yes.
as one of my first games to be playing. But yeah, other than that, I've been, chilling at home, relaxing, maxing.
Oh, shooting
I
some
forgot the
b-ball
rest.
outside the
Oh,
school?
yeah, right, yeah. I forgot. But other than that, pretty it. But enough about me. How can people find you, James, in the internets?
Yeah, James.
Why are you still waiting in that airport with that cool guy and cool girl behind you?
Hey man, all I'm saying is there's some crazy things happening over there in the airport. There's a girl and a guy talking about, oh, wait for me.
Gross.
But yeah, you can find me on Instagram at JamesJT_27. Of course, that will all be linked down below in the description. You can also subscribe to my personal YouTube page, which, like, once again, everything's linked down there. But the most important thing is you can follow this podcast on Spotify. You can follow this podcast on Apple Podcasts. Give it 5 stars. You can listen to it on places like Anchor, like Podbean, like, I don't know. There are so many podcast platforms out there, but we're on all of them. You just search We the Panel or We the Panel, a Terrace House podcast. Look for the gray house with a brown background, and we will be there. You can
Yes.
also feel free to like and comment on this video. You can subscribe to our YouTube page, hit that notification bell so you'll know when we are releasing the next episode. And before we go, of course, there are a couple things that we have to say. First thing being, I don't know where I'm going with this. The first thing being, wear your masks.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
The next thing being, sorry. Okay, one last update.
Oh my goodness.
It's definitely happening because I'm calling it out for the second episode in a row. We
Oh.
are going to watch High School Musical, the first one,
Heck yeah.
and it will be a Spotify exclusive, where we are going to be watching it and recording our audio, and you guys can basically watch with us by hitting that spacebar when we say go. And in addition to that, me, Cheska, and Tim are going to have the great High School Musical ranking debate. When will that happen? Probably sometime in early 2021. We're still figuring out some logistics, but I'm throwing it out there into the world. It's happening. Tecchan heard it. Momo heard it. It's
Manifest
gonna
it.
happen.
Manifest that.
But yeah, once again, this has been James, Jason, and Cheska from We the Panel, and we will see you guys next time.
Take care, guys, and sleep warmly.
Oh. Bye.
Bye.